Hello, and welcome to another segment of the Fitness Whisperer. Today we're going to be talking about group exercising. Now, group exercising, may it be boot camp, working in a gym, doing spinning classes, cardio classes, classes working with free weights, you name it, exercising as a group, okay? Now, I know a lot of people do enjoy group exercising for various reasons. But today we're going to be talking about the beneficial aspects of exercising as a group. First and foremost, and I think one of the most obvious reasons, is because some people find camaraderie and motivation when you're working out as a group or in a quote-unquote team environment. Okay. Now, myself, I'm a personal trainer, and I train individuals one-on-one, or sometimes I train a couple, like husband and wife, boyfriend and girlfriend, or just friends in general. And I must say, based on my experience alone, I do find when people do decide to pair up and work with me as a couple, they both feed off each other. So as I'm, for example, motivating one to complete a push-up, the other friend or partner is there right with me, motivating that person as well. And it can really be highly effective. So that's one major aspect of group exercising that's beneficial. Another great reason for group exercising is the fact that when you are working in a group and you do see, for example, people that are younger or older than you, and they're showing up and they're putting in their hard work and they're there very determined to get their results. It only motivates you to want to continue to push yourself, because you see, for example, and you don't of course say this out loud, but in your mind you see this person pushing themselves and working hard, and they may not be in the greatest shape. They may actually be in worse shape than you physically, right? They may be a little bit overweight, for example, but you see them working hard, they're staying motivated, and they're pushing themselves. So you, in turn, say, what, if this person is working hard to get to their goals and they're showing up on a regular basis, if they can do it, I can do it. And it's kind of inspirational, because sometimes I think, especially when you work out by yourself, and exercising, to lose weight or to put on muscle doesn't happen overnight. It does take time. And I think a lot of people don't realize how hard you have to work to actually lose 5 or 10 pounds or put 2 or 5 pounds worth of muscle on. It's not easy. It's hard. It requires a lot of hard work. It requires a lot of discipline, and it requires a lot of motivation. So when you're in a group and you see someone working hard and they're disciplined and they're motivated, it only makes you want to do the same thing. If they can do it, so can I, right? So that's another huge aspect of group exercising. Now, I am a big fan and advocate of group exercising. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. However, there is a downside. And the downside to group exercising, and I'm sure for those of you who are watching this video, I'm sure you can all relate. The downside with group exercising is when you do meet on a regular basis, friendships, bonds start to be created, and I think sometimes people kind of get lost in the reason they're actually in class or doing their boot camp in the first place. So after a while, not right away, but after a while, as people become friendly with each other, they start to kind of just socialize, right? And don't get me wrong, they do kind of go through the motions of doing the routine and doing the exercise class for the hour or hour and a half, or the spinning class. However, people tend to kind of lose focus, especially when it comes to classes where you're in a group, and it's just you and the weight, for example. Spinning classes, of course, is a lot difficult to socialize. So it's a lot more difficult to socialize. So of course you're there, doing your own thing, and you may socialize before or after. But a boot camp class, for example, people tend after a while to just socialize, and they start to talk, and as they're resting between sets, they're talking about what they did the weekend before, what they have planned for the weekend coming up. And don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with making friends in these classes and socializing. There's nothing wrong with that, but I think it's also important to understand what you're there for in the first place. and why you originally signed up for this class. And the reason you signed up for this class and the reason you are there in the first place is to get fit, lose weight, improve your quality of life, bring down your blood pressure, get a hold of your hypertension, right? You're there for a specific reason. So I think it's very important for people to not lose focus of that, because you are there to improve your overall quality of life. Make friends, socialize, but also understand that when it's time to focus and exercise, focus and exercise. Do not deviate from that specific purpose, because I think if you do continue to do that, and like I said in the beginning, the benefit of group exercising is that one feeds off the other, but the same thing can apply when you're socializing. When you start socializing with people in your exercise class, you both start to feed off each other, and just that energy of demotivation starts to creep in. And that's not a good thing, right? So you're paying for this class, you're paying your hard-earned money. Go to class, do your thing, socialize after, okay? Just go there, be determined, and just go and do what you have to do, right? So that is, the pros and the cons as it relates to group exercising. What I really like about group exercising is when people start to actually reach their goals, it becomes very emotional, especially when you have two people that's, when they started their class, they were overweight, and 4 to 6 months down the road, they're still at it, and they've both lost weight, they've both improved their quality of life, and I think when you start with someone and you both are in a very difficult situation, and I just mean physically, right? But when you're both physically in a challenging situation, and you both work through it, and you both were complete strangers when you both met originally, but you stuck to it, you kept working for 4 to 6 months, and the both of you reached your goal. I think that's very powerful, because that creates an incredible bond, right? And you both can use that experience and just spread it, with other newcomers that join your class, because as we know, when it comes to group exercising, people come, people go, people start, they're motivated, and then, they kind of just fall off. But there always is a small core nucleus group of people who actually stay there for the long term and reach their goals, and they create a huge and incredible bond. And I think that's great, because I think what happens after that is, after that bond is created, it spills over into your personal life. So you might be both going out for coffee, for dinner, spending time at each other's homes, just creating a really great friendship. And I think that's one huge and positive, powerful aspect of group exercising, just the bond and the friendship it creates when you both actually struggle as a group to get to a certain point. And when you do achieve it, you have that camaraderie, you both understand what it took, and you both worked yourself through it. And I think that's great. So group exercising is huge. You have Tough Mudder, you have boot camps, all around the globe. You have spinning classes, you have step classes. I mean, they're huge. And of course, people gravitate towards the group for various reasons. But I mean, group exercising classes are here to stay. What I am just here to talk about are the pros and the cons. And they are more pros than cons when it comes to group exercising. People come and go, right? So the instructor has to keep in mind that there are new people, and they have to try to accommodate the new people as well. So if the instructor's counting from 10 to 15, do another 5 or 7 reps, right? Just increase it. It's not going to be very difficult for you to catch up to the next exercise, because chances are you already know what they're going to do next. So that's a really good way of keeping yourself motivated. Do a little bit more than what the instructor's asking you, more specifically the new people, to do, and just challenge yourself a little bit more. And I think you will find that you'll be getting a lot more out of that exercise class if you incorporate that. And the same thing applies to your spinning classes as well, right? The instructor has to keep in mind that there's always new people joining, so they can't make it too difficult, even though you've been there for 4 to 6 months and it's becoming relatively easy for you. Increase your attention. So if you're spinning at level 3 or 4, turn it up to level 4 or 5. So just turn it up a level. I think that would be one excellent way of just challenging yourself more. So you don't want to do the same thing that everyone else is doing. And chances are you're probably already doing it a little bit more of an advanced stage as well. But as soon as the exercise starts to get a little bit boring, and I'm speaking about spinning, turn up the resistance level a bit, turn it up to another level. If the cycle that you're using, or the bicycle that you're on, could go up, instead of one level, it can go up in increments of 0.5. Just turn it up to 0.5 then, or if you can't, just turn it up one level. You know, just challenge yourself a little bit more, and you'll find that you'll be getting a lot more out of that exercise class, and you'll be more motivated to continue. Because once it becomes mundane, once it becomes repetitive, and once it becomes routine, and once you already know exactly what's going to happen, from one exercise to another, that's actually a warning sign, believe it or not. And that's when you know you're going to have to listen to the instructor, don't get me wrong, but you also want to challenge yourself a little bit more. So add more weight, increase a little bit more reps, and if you're doing a spinning class, turn it up an extra level, right? And you'll find, like I said, you'll be getting a lot more out of the 1 hour or 1 hour and 15 minutes that you're actually in the class. Okay, so this is a fairly short video. I just wanted to touch on that. I've had a lot of people asking me about my opinion on group exercising, so I decided to make a video about it. So that is it. So for those of you that have been following me here on YouTube, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you enjoy what you're hearing. You can also follow me on Twitter. You can reach me at The Fitness Whisperer on Twitter. Or if you have any questions, you can also email me at thefitnesswhisperer_7@gmail.com. So once again, thanks for watching, folks, and bye for now.